Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Learn JavaScript with Foundry. Man, I still haven't really learned what I'm going to call this. Anyway, at some point we'll figure it out, maybe just as the series is ending. But anyway, we are learning JavaScript using Foundry. However, someone DM'd me a private DM in Discord, and it was a really good point. Is not everyone actually owns Foundry, uh, and might want to do this the same. So I decided we're going to take just a tiny little detour, and we're going to show you how you can do the same stuff without Foundry, but then we're going to come back in Foundry and just do it as a macro that like we've been doing. So like I said, we're going to take just a little detour. I don't think it will be, maybe it'll be this full episode. I'm not sure. Depends on how long I keep talking about nothing. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing, I'm going to show you how to get Visual Studio Code, which is free. It comes for Linux, Mac, Windows. So it's an all-around editor, and it's really good for developing JavaScript in. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up your web browser, and I have one right here. And we're going to type in the search here. We're going to type Visual Studio, and you can maybe even have it auto-complete it or just type the rest of it. Hit enter, and I'm imagining the very first option or the very first thing for you is going to be Visual Studio Code, and there's going to be a download. If you click that, you'll be taken to this page where you can choose whether you have Windows 8, 10, or 11. If you're using it as a Debian package or an RPM such as Red Hat, Fedora, SUSE, more than likely most people use Ubuntu for their thing, which is the Debian base. And then of course there's for Mac OS 10.11 plus. I don't know enough about Macs. But so those are, you just choose which one yours is. You just download, install it like you would any other program. Hopefully you already know how to do that. And then once it's completely installed, what I do is then I will create a folder. And as you can see on my desktop here, we have a folder called Learn.js. If you open it up, you should get something similar to this maybe. And we can right click in here and we can say open Visual Studio Code. We shouldn't need this anymore. Now let's go grab Visual Studio Code and bring it over. Everything always pops up on different screens. So here's Visual Studio Code. I'm gonna shrink it up just a little bit to fit. It's gonna be pretty crunchy, but hopefully we can get it fit. So the only real thing I think you need for developing Visual Studio Code with JavaScript, I'm going to show you the things I have, and then you can, the one that I know that you definitely want, and then let you guys go from there. But anyway, so what you would do is you come down to, there will be this little puzzle piece. It might be, this might be a theme or something like that, but if you mouse over it, it says extensions. You can press Control-Shift-X on a Mac. I think it's Command-Shift-X. I don't know. Either way, it might even show you in here what you're actually pushing and stuff. So if we click on this one, we can see these are ones that I have installed. And if you want to pause the video, because there's this list, so I'll just kind of mouse over them, then I go down because I have more, and you might want anything that might say something about JavaScript. So I don't have that many, but one that you definitely are going to want will be this one right here called Live Server by Ritwick Day. Very good thing to have. And I think this is the last. Maybe there's one more after this. I don't think I have anything JavaScript specific in here, and I don't see anything really. But you just want that live server. Once you get that installed, and the way you install it, if we go to live server right here, Right here, this will actually say install instead of uninstall. I don't think there's even a disable, but it just says install. Once it's installed, you'll see this little button appear down here. Now before we click that, what we want to do is go up to the very top, and because we right-clicked on our little folder Learn.js, that's where its focus is. You can see right here it says Learn.js. Well, you can do it with one file, but it's easier to do it with two. So the first file we're going to create is called index.html, index.html. So we're going to go ahead and click on that and then hit OK, and you'll get something that looks like this. And we're going to hold off on the second one for a minute. Now, one nice thing about Visual Studio Code is you can create a template really quickly of just a basic HTML page. Just by simply typing exclamation point and hitting enter. So this is a basic HTML page, but since you're not actually putting this on the web, you can actually get away with, say, just this right here. It will work. It should just work fine. So we could actually get rid of this head right here, put it like that, and body is where we want to put our stuff. So in order to invoke a script or a JavaScript in HTML, what we need to do is we need to do a script tag, so script, so open, not open, I guess they call that the less than, the word script, and then close, or the greater than sign. And you would just enter your JavaScript here. So we could type console, and it has this nice autocomplete to help you spell right, and then log. And we can do here and say I work, like so. And then if we hit this little go live button, it will actually open automatically in our web browser like this, a beautiful page that has absolutely nothing on it. And this is in Chrome, by the way. It's my default browser. If I hit F12 to go to developer tools, you'll actually see here that it says I work. This other stuff you don't really need to worry about. If I refresh it, this one will come back, but that other one won't. So that's all you have to do to actually do JavaScript. All you would do then is inside that main little area right here is where you would put all your code. Now, this to me is kind of cumbersome because then I always have to keep it between there and make sure it's inside the script. We can actually get away without doing it here. We can put our little semicolon there. We can go ahead and delete this and hit backspace and then delete, so the script comes right next to the other script. And I have an example here, I believe. So as you can see right here, we have script, and then we do this src. I might as well just type it in for you. So this is saying I'm going to do a script, but it's not here locally. It's going to be in another file. So we're going to do src for the source of that file. We're going to type equals, and then we're going to type where that script is. So right now we're not going to do it just because it's easier if we actually create the script file. So we're going to come back over here, and up above we have a little plus with a file. That will add a new file. This will add a new folder. This will refresh. We're going to go ahead and click on the little file one, and we're going to type, let's just do script, script.js for JavaScript. And you'll notice that Visual Studio Code knows that this is JavaScript by that little JS at the end, and it knows this is HTML by the extension HTML. So now we have two things open. We have our JavaScript and we have our index.html. All we have to do now is tell our HTML file where the JavaScript is. By the way, you don't even need this for basic HTML. This is all you need for basic HTML minus the script. So we're going to go ahead and say in the relative path, which will tell us /, is saying from where I currently am, I want to do javascript.js, and that's it. Now if we go into JavaScript.js, we can do our actually let's do our use strict, use STRICT, and that's another, and that. So if we do that, then we can go ahead and do everything that we're doing in our macros. So so if we want to do CONSOLE, well, we can, let's do a better example. Let's say let's see, const name equals Tasman, T4ZZ M4NN, just like that. And then we could say down in here our console.log, do a parenthesis, go ahead, and we're gonna do, we talked about yeah, we talked about string expressions. So we're gonna say HELL, hello, whoops, hello, and then we're gonna do a $sign to tell it we're gonna stick some code in here, and we're gonna do name. So if we do this, and this little line is showing because name is kind of a depreciated type of thing, but people use it all the time. Doesn't matter, because a variable can be anything, but name is actually kind of a keyword, I guess. So if we do that, we can come in here because our live server is running. If we hit save, which we can just hit Control S, if we go back to our live server, now you'll see we have our Hello Tasman. So like I said, you can use Visual Studio Code if you're happier with that. There's absolutely no problems with that at all. And it's really nice with the code completion and stuff, but I kind of want to, some things when we get further along will not work with Visual Studio Code because we're in the wrong namespace. We want to be in the Foundry namespace to access, you know, character information or scene information, all that stuff. Then we will have to. But to learn basic JavaScript without that advanced stuff, you can just do it in Visual Studio Code, or you could even do it in Notepad if you want. And then all you would have to do is take, you know, if we had just Notepad open here and we went to our little file here, we could simply just drag this into the window and hit F12 here, and you'll see it's still doing the same thing. It's not getting that live reload or anything now. So it works even that way. So a bare minimum, if you have Notepad, Notepad++, whatever, you can develop in that, just have those two files and then just load. As you can see, we have on our desktop, we have the learn.js and index, and you're good to go. All right, so now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and close out all these apps that we've been using, and we're going to go back into Foundry and learn our new stuff. So hold on just a second, just got to close out a couple more windows. All right. So in the last 2 episodes or whatever, because we had part 1, part 2, we learned about data types and what did I call it? Variables and values. Now we're going to learn a bit about what we can do with variables and values. So we're going to go here, we have our fundamentals, and we're going to create a new one right here, and we're going to call this, what should we call this? Operators, O-P-E-R-A-T-O-R-S. And we might even want to maybe stick an O2 in front of this. Maybe something like that. It's in fundamentals, and the reason for that is so it sorts it properly, because as you can see, it's not sorted properly here. Now I'm trying to remember, did I put the thing on that side? I'm going to quickly rename this guy. Configure, export, import, clear, delete, duplicate. Where is, I think I did that. There we go. And we can say 01. Just so we kind of keep these in an order. And then say close. Oh, I said close. I didn't say, darn it. 01. And save. There we go. Now it's sorting properly. So we can keep them in the order that we're actually doing them. All right, so we're going to talk about operators. So in math, you probably learned the operators are things like addition, subtraction. Let's go ahead and hit F12 so we can pull that up. Yes, we do have it on that side. Perfect. All right, so let's go to, this is all messages. Let's go and clear it. And let's begin. All right, so in school, you probably learned that there's addition, subtraction, multiplication, and those same things exist in JavaScript. I was going to say Visual Studio. So I'm going to first do my use strict, and we're going to go ahead and do this. I need to just pull up my template and use that code. Let's do save real quick. Do this. This will be our quick way of doing it. Control C. And whoops, that's template again. And operators and Control V. All right, so now that we have this all set up, let's go ahead and just give us some space here. Let's talk about different operators. So one thing we're going to do, and we've done this a couple times, is we're going to use a built-in method from a different object called the date object, and that we're going to use that to get the current date. So, or well, the current year is actually what we're going to get. So don't worry if you don't understand what this is. Just go ahead and blindly type this, because later on you will start understanding. So we're going to create a constant because it's not going to change. We're going to call it this year or current year, whatever you want. And we are going to say we want a new date object. So we need a new date object, and has open close parentheses, and then we're going to do a period to tell it that we want to invoke a method or a function, which we'll talk about later, inside the date object. And this one is called get full year. Just like that, open close parentheses. So what this is going to do is this is going to return for this year 2022, and oh, I didn't do equals. It's going to get 2022, and it's going to assign it to the variable this year, right? And because 2022 is a number, this will then become a number. So let's go ahead and look at some of our different operators. So let's first figure out Tasman's age, right? I bet you're dying to know. I've never really kept it a secret. So we're going to do a const age T4ZZ. And we're going to say equals, we're going to do this year, THIS, this year, and we're going to do a subtraction. So that's our very first operator, is the subtraction operator. And I was born a long time ago in 1972. And we're going to come down here and we're going to do our console log. Console.log. Hopefully I spell it right, because this doesn't have all the correction stuff that Visual Studio Code does. And say T4ZZ M4NN is, and we're going to throw out our little guy here, and we're going to say age Taz. AGE T4ZZ, and then we're going to say YEARSOLD. So if the current year is 2022 and I was born in 1972, what do you think my age is? If you said 50 years old, that is correct. Technically, I'm still 49 until the 15th of this month, which is July. Then I turn 50. So, yeah, I'm an old man. So there we go. We just learned our very first thing. This is the subtraction. Now, it's very good to note that we cannot take a string and subtract from it. So if we say this year, and let's say for whatever reason we did 1972 in quotes, this is going to generate an error. Well, technically, I guess it didn't, because it new? I don't know. Don't always count on it working, because this is considered a string. I think it's automatically converting it to a number because we're trying to subtract it. earlier versions of Java, when I started Java and stuff, this would definitely throw an error because this is not a number. This is the value 1972 in character form, and we're trying to subtract that from 2022, and that's not going to work. So that is one kind of gotcha. You always want to make sure, don't count on it always doing that for you. So there's that. All right, so there's our first one. We have subtraction. Of course, the opposite of subtraction is addition. So let's go ahead and do a const here. We're going to do, we'll just call this add Taz, maybe? I don't know. And let's do, let's take my age. So we'll do age, age Taz, and let's add how old I will be in 25 years. We should know that will be 75, right? So then if we come down here, we can go ahead and do console.log and do parentheses and do our quotes and say in 25 YEAR years, T4ZZ will be blank YEAR years old. And we'll go back, throw this guy right here, do a string, and then our curly brace and our close curly brace, and we'll do add T4ZZ. And go ahead and add our semicolon. And now when we execute that, we'll see in 25 years, Taz will be 75 years old. So there you go. Now, if you're not familiar with programming and stuff, the next two might seem a little confusing. And that's because we don't use the letter X for times. We use the little asterisk, the star. So this will be, let's double our age from our age, not from our actual thing. So we're going to do const, we're going to do const, and we're going to say, let's do dblt4zz for double Taz, because I'm a lazy typer. And here we're going to do age Taz, and we're going to use the star or the asterisk, which is shift 8, and we're going to times it by 2. And then we'll come down here. I'm going to copy one of these just so I don't have to keep typing it, because as you might have noticed, I'm not the fastest typer. We'll go ahead and do this, and let's say, how should I say this? I guess it would just be double. So we could say we'll put our variable right there, YEARS, we'll say T4ZZ, M4NN, M4NN will be our next variable, YEARS, OLD, something like that. And then let's go ahead. So we're going to take our age variable because we're just doubling it. So might as well just say that. We could say string and that, and come back and do age Taz. And then this one will be our double. So let's do string and that. Whoops, that was 2 of those. That, and do db double Taz. So now if we execute that, you'll see that we get in 50 years, Tazman will be 100 years old. That's right, if I ever live another 50 years. All right, so I'm going to hit a couple enters here. Let's go ahead and do our next one, which is division. Now, division also, there is no actual key for division. If you've used computers like calculator on the computer and stuff, you'll know that it uses the /, not the backslash, but the /. So let's go ahead and say const, and let's do half Taz maybe. HLF T4ZZ. Trying to keep in mind, we're almost 30 minutes. I want to get through these different things real quick. So let's do half Taz equals, and we'll do, how should I do it? Should I just do it in half? Let's see. Let's do AGE, age Taz, and divided by 2. Sure. So, how do we want to write this one? Let's see. Control V, we should still have that in there. All right, let's say something like maybe his midlife age. Let's try that. Maybe at T4ZZM4NN apostrophe S. Now we can do the apostrophe, remember, because this is actually a single tick. If these were single ticks, we'd have to change them to double, but this is the one that actually gives us the most flexibility. So let's see. So what should I say? At Tasman's current age, C-U-R-E, current age, his midlife age, I guess, midlife age was something YAR years old. Yeah, I guess that'll work. So let's go here between the was and do our little string and our curly braces and do HOF, half Taz. There we go. And go ahead and execute. And there you go. So at Tasman's current age of 50, his midlife age was 25 years old. So hopefully you're kind of getting an idea of how this works and what these different operators are. So we've all known there's the subtraction, addition, multiplication, and the division. However, there are a couple other ones that we're going to talk about. And those would be, let's see. First one we're going to talk about is, let's talk about the exponents, or the power of operator. So in some languages, they use this character, the little uptick, to be kind of power of. In programming, at least JavaScript, we actually use 2 stars to do the same thing. So if we wanted to say, let's see, const. The hardest thing about this is actually coming up with what I'm trying to say. Let's cube our age, I guess. CUB, let's do cubTaz. So cubTaz equals, and we'll do age Taz, and we'll do star star, and then we will do 3, right? Because we want to cube it. So if we do this, then we come down here. We can go ahead, should be able to hit paste still, right? Whoops. There we go. Hit paste. And Tasman's age years old. That doesn't work. Now, how do I phrase this one? Maybe just Tasman's age cubed. T4ZZM4NN. Tasman's age CUBED is, and we'll do YEARSOLD. So here we go, and we're going to go ahead and stick our cubed one in here. Go and do $, that, and that. Bring it back in, and do cubed. Nope, not cubed. Cub T4ZZ. So now if we go ahead and execute that, we will see Tasman's age cubed is 125,000. That's quite the age. Then let's see if this works right. Let's say we want to, I'm not sure if this is going to work right, so I just want to see really quick. If we were to take Taz, let's just do a console. Let's just do it down here real quick. See, oh, whoops, I could do this again. Beautiful. All right, so if we wanted to, and actually, you know what? I don't care about the ticks. So we're going to just check and see how this works. So we want to take a number Let's do an even number. So let's take my age. We can even use Taz age. T4ZZ age, right? Whoops, it's not age. T4ZZ. Oh, I called it age Taz. Age Taz. So we have that, and we're gonna try and divide that by 3. So I'm just wondering how smart Java is going to be for us with this. All right, so actually it did work the way I was expecting. So as you can see, here we're getting a float or a double decimal value because 3 does not divide evenly into 50. So we get 16.666666668, right? So what we want to do maybe is say, I guess, well, let's kind of do this as we're doing up here so we have all the information we have. So let's just do this. We'll do const, and we'll do maybe div for divide, because I want to show that div, not divide, dvi. I want to show that we actually have the remainder. That's the word I was looking for. So we go equals, and let's do age T4ZZ, and do divided by 3, which is going to give us a remainder type thing. So then if we come down here, we could say, boom, throw that all in there, and do T4ZZ M4NN plus Tasman's age DIVIDE divided by 3 is, and then I guess just put it there. So we could do div Taz like that, and that should fix that. So if we do that and hit execute, there we go, 16.666. So we do have a way of actually just getting the, what is in program is called the modulus, or it gets the remainder. And if we do this same thing that we have here, but we use the modulus instead, and the modulus is the percent sign. So if we come in here and we use percent, it should only return the last part of that age thing. So let's just double check and make sure this works right. V, and we will, oh, we don't want to call it div Taz. Let's do mod, because it's modulus. And do mod. Alright, let's go ahead and see what this one does. Right there. So now you can see Taz's age divided by 3 is 2. So if we were to take that, the remainder, not the decimal part, is 2. And I'm trying to remember what that actually is trying to say. So if we were to take it, we could take our, if we were to go 3 in with 16 with a remainder of 2. I might have to look that one up because I can't remember the actual definition I want for that. So now one thing is the plus sign actually has 2 things. So one, it is the addition operator. We can actually go add these. ADDITION. We have boom boom. We have MULTIPLICITION. Excuse me if I misspell anything. I'm just trying to get through this. 2 of those actually. DIVISION. Division. This is exponent. EXPONENT. This one, I'll give you more info on the modulus in a future episode. Let's see. So this one is it's still division, so I'm not actually going to put anything on that one. And then this one is modulus or remainder. M-O-D-U-L, modulus, maybe? We'll put in R-E, remainder, like that. All right, so these are your main arithmetic mathematical operators. The next thing, like I was saying, there is also a concatenation operator, which is also the plus. This would be taking some letters and adding something to it. So let's, for example, let's just say, maybe we should come up here real quick, do this, // and say, what do I want to say here? Arithmetic. A-R-I-T-H-M-E-T-I. See, arithmetic. Or mathematical. M-A-T-H-M-A, whoops, E-M. M-A-T-H is really hard to see when I'm typing. E-M-A-T-I-C-A-L. Mathematical and operators, O-P-E-R-A-T-O-R-S. So there's our, I think everything's spelled okay. And then we have our concatenation operator. So we want to put that here, C-O-N-C-A-N-T-E-N-A-T-I-O-N, O-P-E-R-A-T-O-R. So that's our concatenation operator, which is also the plus. So for example, let's say we have two strings here. We have one called we have two variables. So let's do const, and let's do F-I-R, first name. And we'll go ahead and call this one Taz. T4ZZ. And we're going to do a const, const, whoops, const, const, and we'll do last name. And we're going to go ahead and set that as man. We'll do it in double quotes just to show that there's no difference. And then we're going to go ahead and close that one. And we're going to create a new one that is going to concatenate those prior to by adding them together or concatenating them. Right? So we're going to do const, and we're going to do full name. And what we're going to do is we're going to set that to F-I-R-S-T-N-A-M-E plus L-A-S-T last name, semicolon. So what this is going to do is going to say Kazman, right? So let's go double check this. Do C-O-N-S-O-L-E console dot log. Did I spell it wrong? C-O-N-S-O-L-E. Yeah. Log parenthesis. And let's say let's do it in ticks real quick. Let's do string, other string, and say FUL full name is AWESOME. Now, I'm also going to actually I don't want to concatenate this way, because this is just going to put it all together. So I wanted to do it just a little different. So let's go ahead and we'll do full name, because this is not a string, this is a variable. Where's my delete? There it is. And we're going to do plus, and then we're going to do maybe is awesome. And then we're going to actually add in another. So full name is awesome. And let's go ahead and maybe throw in a number. So we're going to add a number to this. Now, this is what I kind of wanted to point out, is this number is not actually going to be a number any longer. Because we're concatenating it with a string, it's going to automatically convert it to a string. And then let's see, of the time maybe. So let's do a percent symbol. Oh, whoops, I forgot to do my other quote. do percent of the time. And we can even add in, you know, our Boolean value types. Gosh, I keep forgetting to hit shift. And say maybe true, right? So if we do this, it's going to concatenate a variable that's already been concatenated to a string, to a number, to another string, to a Boolean type. So if we go clear this, we will see here Tasman is awesome 100% of the time. Now, one thing you can tell this is actually a whole string and not a number is when we do a number, it actually will display it. If we did, for example, right here, just console sole.log, and we do parentheses, and let's go ahead and just say in quotes here, let's say this is a number. So we're going to say this is a number, and then we're going to stick a comma, which kind of acts like a concatenation, but not really. It basically is more of a separator. And then let's go ahead and say Taz age, or age Taz. So what this is going to do is this is not concatenating, and the value of 50 will actually be in a different color. So if we clear this, go ahead and execute, you'll see that this is a number. So the developer tools in Chrome at least shows you this is a number by making it this kind of purple color. We're at 40 plus minutes, so I think this is going to be a decent place to close it. We're going to talk about some other type of operators in the next episode, and a little bit also about whatchamacallit. Why can't I think? The order of operation. So, you know, the precedence that they take. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell after you've subscribed so you're notified when I upload new videos. And, excuse me. And, let's see. Yeah. Check out my other channels, my Discord, my Twitch, my Twitter, all that fun stuff. All the information is in the description. Tell other people about my channel. Check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub and we grow the channel. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.